Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Coffee Break, and welcome back to the CoffeeCast ProCast Edition, where I am going to be doing a TVP today because apparently I hate ZVT. I've been looking through my YouTube channel, and apparently I haven't done a ZVT in 3 months. Then again, I haven't really done all that much, ProCast in the last 3 months. I've been doing a lot of amateur attack, but even that's been kind of on and off. Busy schedule, nonetheless. I do promise I have been looking for ZVTs. I just haven't really found any ZVTs that have been noteworthy. It's always like, like player A versus player X, nobody's ever really heard of them. So I've been kind of passing them up in favor of bigger names like, I don't know, Lucifron spawning as the Green Terran over on the lower left-hand side here on Daybreak. See that transition? See what I did there? Yeah, that's how we do it here. And on the top right side, it is going to be Mouz or Mouz. Oh gosh, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I know of the clan. I've never been able to pronounce the name. I've never known the exact pronunciation of the name. Whatever. It's going to be mouzMana spawning as our orange Protoss player on the top right-hand side. I am currently recording with the Open Broadcasting Software, or OBS, as some of you may know it. It is different than XSplit, obviously. In the fact, the main difference is it takes a crap load of less resources. And so I'm casting with this in hopes of finding a new broadcasting software, because XSplit, oh gosh, I have been having massive problems with XSplit for the last month minimum, and even before that. I mean, XSplit's been kind of iffy with me lately. So we'll kind of see how OBS goes here. This is kind of it's going to be the first real test. So if there are any glaring errors, A, I apologize, and B, I beg you to leave them in the comments below, because this is my first time using the software, so I mean, I'm not gonna know all that well if something's going wrong if I do not get any feedback from you guys here. Mana is going to be going for a 17, 18-ish Nexus. I think that was a 17 Nexus. Ignore my supply counts, because I can never get those right for some reason. Like, I can be looking at when this pylon goes down, and it'll go down at like 16 of 18. It's like, oh, that's obviously like a 12 pylon right there. It's like, wait, what the hell am I even talking about? I don't know why. I just have like the biggest problem watching supply times. It's especially glaring in the ZVT or ZVP map. Pretty much anything with a Zerg, because you have your 15 pool, 15 gas, 15 hatch, 14, and like all those little differences are complete differences in the builds. So I apologize if I just blatantly destroy those. It looks like over on Lucifron's side of things, we are going to be doing a 1-Rax expand into 2 gases, which I do find rather interesting. With the with the mules down on the ground, that's a little bit easier to sustain. I mean, a lot of time you'll see Protoss players, obviously they want to take these gases earlier, but you don't quite have the probe count for it. And actually, Mana going for a very fast 2 gases as well here. It's going to hurt the mineral income a little bit in the early game, but it looks like he's already fairly well saturated there. But I'm kind of surprised to see 2 very, very fast gases at Lucifron here. Obviously looking to do some sort of very, very fast teching play. We'll have to see where exactly he decides to go with that. And of course, that probe not able to get up there to be able to see those 2 gases. Pretty much all he was able to do is run over here, scout out that there was indeed a wall off at the top of the ramp, as per usual. And things are going on in life. Reactor is going down on that barracks, probably just for double marine production for the early game, because I can't imagine him going double gas and then going into reactor Hellions, because that would make so much sense. I can only assume that's going to be some sort of Banshee or Raven play, maybe even a tech lab down on the factory, though siege tank's not exactly the best in the TVP matchup. They're just pretty much countered by even just gateway based play. Pretty much siege tanks are countered if you get a Twilight Council down onto the field. By the way, if I randomly start trailing off, it's because I'm actually watching a tuning utility over my computer, monitoring all my different processes. Unfortunately, the only thing I cannot see is the only thing I really want to see, which is my video, how my video stuff is doing. But I can see CPU throttling. I can see my RAM utilization, processor frequency, and utilization as well. And it looks like we are actually going to be doing reactored Hellions here. There's the barracks with the tech lab and the starport right next to it. So I suppose this does make sense in that right. Might be going in for Banshee Hellion, maybe. I don't know. Once again, I'm just really confused. I'm pretty much confused by Terran play in general lately, because Terrans have been doing a lot of weird kind of stuff. Just because, I don't know, I swear Terrans are like kind of like the first to really explore every unit they have in their arsenal. And now as we get in the later and later stages of the meta metagame. That's a lot of chrono boost saved up on both these Nexuses. As we get into later stages of the metagame, players are kind of doing new and more interesting compositions, as, you know, they just kind of want to keep bringing new stuff to the table. So we're seeing Terrans do a lot of different things, and even doing things like, you know, we've been seeing this a lot in the TVZ matchup, but now apparently we're seeing it in the TVP matchup. I don't know. I apologize if this is something that's been going on for a while, but my metagame is so far behind, it's not even funny. Mana going to be pulling all his probes up into his main base. Oh, going to need to get a force field on the ramp. Nice force field there, keeping all 4 of those Hellions out. Just going to be buying a little bit of time while he can muster up some defenses. There they are, the 4 Stalkers for our defense. Banshee going to be on the field soon, though. However, the robotics is finished at this point in time. So the Banshee, and with that cloaking, probably not going to be able to do all that much damage. As, ooh, fried Zealots warping back to higher there. As the Observer will be on the field. And we'll be able to take that out fairly easily. This Zealot doesn't want to die, but he is just going to get destroyed there. Two-shotted by this number of Hellions here. Those Hellions are going to be a little bit problematic for Mana there. I love the fact that he walled off at this point with 2 Stalkers there, and is going to, actually, I think that's a full wall off here against these Hellions on this other ramp as well. So very, very nice play by Mana. However, those Hellions out aggressively across the field is going to allow Lucifron to do a fairly quick third base here. So that's going to be a fairly easy establishment for him. Mana does know pretty much everything that's going on over here right now, as he does have the Observer in the base there, and actually that's not, I'm kind of surprised that has not been scouted or not been scanned at all so far. Oh, Lucifron going to be trying to run up this ramp, but indeed these Stalkers do make a full wall off. 1 Hellion dies, and the Hellions are forced to fall back. Banshee does have cloaking on the north side of the field. Might be looking to push into that main base fairly shortly here. Third base now completed for Lucifron. Going to be going ahead, getting Stimpack as well. Where is it? There it is, Stimpack on the way, dropping a couple of additional barracks right now, getting the reactor on the starport. So now we're going to be transitioning into a much more normal looking mid-game for our Terran player here, Lucifron. Going to be running into the main base now with that Banshee. 2 kills already on the field. An Observer, however, is back to defend. And oh, only 3 kills so far with this Banshee. I don't think it's going to be able to get much more, as Mana is here. Mana is prepared to defend against it, and apparently there's another Banshee over in the back of the natural expansion. I completely missed that one somewhere in there. However, Observers are on, well, at least one of the Banshees. Okay, the Observer is over here in this general area, and then there's also another Observer up with that other group of Stalkers. Oh, this Banshee probably going to go down. 3 kills on that Banshee. 3 kills on this Banshee. So 2 Banshees, 6 kills so far. One of them is dead. The other one probably not going to really be able to do all that much more damage. Maybe not the greatest investment by Lucifron, but that being said, that is kind of forcing Mana to stay back in his base a little bit, as they cannot really afford to move out. I mean, if you just leave a Banshee unattended in your base, that is just going to spell a disaster. The Banshee is obviously such a high rated DPS, can go through probe lines so quickly. Mana being able to now to establish a nexus of his own here, and Lucifron not really going to be able to punish that for a little bit of time, because he did invest in these Hellions and these Banshees earlier on. He doesn't really have all that much to be able to push out with and do a lot of damage, try to punish that expansion with. He does have a handful of barracks units here with a couple of medevacs, but I don't think that's going to be really enough, especially with the number of Stalkers we have on the field right now. Charge and Storm on the way as well. I've always been a big fan of going for the Templar tech. Unfortunately, Lucifron with these Banshees pretty much been able to get through all of this base. That's exactly what Mana is going to be doing. He does have the Ghost Academy finished and Mobus reactor on the way already, but Mana, I don't think that he really cares all that much, because he's just gonna, well, pretty much keep on doing his thing here. He does have this third base, thankfully, so as soon as he drops gases number 5 and 6, he can go ahead and start his Colossus production as well. As it is, though, I'd say Mana isn't in a bad position at all. 1-1 finishing up right now. He has Charge on the way. Probably going to be getting Blink afterwards, just because Blink is one of the things that is always nice. Great probe split over here. Even able to get, I don't know if a Stalker got that kill or if a probe got that kill. Either way, though, it was a nice little surround by the probes at the end to finish that off. Pylon going down at the north side of the map as well. We'll have to keep an eye on that position for Warpins. But Mana, Blink, that's where I was. Ha! My brain's all over the place as per usual, and it is great. Blink is just one of those upgrades that you just generally want to get just on general principle, because it's something that is always going to be useful pretty much. I mean, you're always going to want to have some sort of Stalkers in your army, unless you're pretty much remaxing your army after a big engagement, in which case, Stalkers may be a little bit less useful in that case. Couple of High Templars are in here with that storming capability. 3 High Templars to be exact. Stalkers and ooh, actually, it's kind of very interesting position. This is almost like baiting Lucifron into trying to take over this third expansion. The most common route, obviously, is going to be coming down this south side here. If you look down on the minimap, coming down the south side, wrapping down, and then just trying to make a quick plunge into the third base, snipe that with stim, and then run out. And Mana actually in a very good position to be able to intercept the forces of Lucifron should he decide to do that. Lucifron, though, for the moment, just going to be staying back. Could potentially load up, wow, that actually quite a few Marauders. That's about one Marine for every two Marauder. Pardon me, 2 Marines for every 1 Marauder. That's actually pretty good numbers there for Lucifron, especially considering that Storm is a fairly large bulk of Mana's army. This Marauder is going to be able to soak up quite a bit of damage here. The army fairly spread out. Actually, a large contingency of the army well out of position right now. Probably going to want to move that north into this I don't know, whatever this 6 o'clock position is, because as it is, oh, a couple of decent EMPs going off. A lot of storms wasted there. There is the one High Templar right there ready to go ahead and throw down some storms there, but really these are just defensive storms. They're not really able to do all that much damage. These ghosts are now plowing into this third expansion here, and with Sim as well as High Templar dead, where is the AoE capabilities of mouzMana? Well, it is all gone. A couple of EMPs going off. Oh, there's some great EMPs. Pardon me, storms coming in from the back there, and now this stim pack has worn off. One medevac accidentally loading up as well, but the zealot count very, very low. I just don't think Mana has the numbers he needs to really be able to engage his force, now being forced to sack this expansion. Probes are being pulled back into the natural expansion there. One High Templar is left over here, but without enough energy to be able to storm. 2-2 is finished for Mana, and 2-2 finished for Lucifron as well, so really no advantage there. Just trying to desperately hold out, wait for that Colossus to come onto the field, but even then, once again, with all of these Marauders, going to be very, very difficult to hold off against this force here. A lot of medevacs are up in the air as well, and it looks like, oh, Mana just running out of forces. There's a Y equals Z. Y equals Z. Y equals Z. I don't know. Alright, so we're going to be going on to game number 2 here. I'm going to be going on to game number 2. I'm going to take a quick look at this replay just to make sure nothing went wrong with it per se. If everything's working right, I should be on my away, and you should be able to, my away overlay, you should be able to see me right now. I'm going to take a quick look at the replay, make sure nothing went wrong. I think I'm probably going to have to turn up the game sound a little bit because it was sounding very, very quiet to me. Hopefully that's the only thing wrong though, because that's a really easy fix, so let's see what happens. Remember, please, to leave a comment below if there were any problems or anything that you like. Any suggestions in general would be great. And make sure to subscribe as well. I have a button for that somewhere on the screen here, so. Until next time, folks, this is Coffee Break, signing out.